Alright, so here we are for the off-season episode of this Pittsburgh Pirates franchise here on Out of the Park Baseball 26, the 2026-27 off-season. Figured this time we could go ahead and watch the playoffs together, see how things go. Alright, so the World Series is set. It's going to be Mariners, Mets. The Seattle Mariners, who finished with the best record in the league, have cruised through the playoffs so far, still haven't lost a game. They are on a 7-game winning streak. We'll take a look at their team. They got Liover Peguero hitting second for them. I mean, geez, we traded him. We traded him to them. Oof, that trade is not looking great right now. I mean, I just saw Peguero's his numbers are looking a little, or his stats are looking a little better than they were when we traded him. And obviously, we didn't get much out of Randy Arozarena, but that's okay. It looks like Peguero had a pretty darn good season, though. Wow. All right, well, one that got away. I think that's about the best that he's ever going to do, though. I mean, their lineup is not really all that scary. It looks like Julio Rodriguez is an absolute monster in this game. They were the best pitching team in the American League this year. They got some really stud relievers. So that is how the Mariners are lining it up. Take a quick look at the Mets. Looks like they are pretty similar to the team that they are now in real life. Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor had really good years. Ronnie Mauricio actually had a good year for them, which I almost never see in this game. Luis Angel Acuna hitting leadoff. They finished 91-71 this year. And just a good all-around team. Third in runs for, second in runs against. Their pitching staff is pretty good. Chris Bubich, nice addition for them. I would like to make this trade and get Chris Bubich from the Kansas City Royals. What'd they give up? Not really much. Man, sad we missed out on that one, but good for the Mets. So we will go ahead and see how this World Series shakes out. And the Seattle Mariners are your 2026 World Series champions. They went through the playoffs, only losing 2 games. A really, really good team there. So now we are actually ready to get into the offseason. We'll see what kind of score we get for this season. I would guess probably not very good. Maybe something like 386. That'll be 454. All right, so a little bit better than we thought. So the first order of business will be to take a look at these salary arbitration figures. So I was planning to just non-tender Jack Swinski, but looking at it, it looks like the Mets are interested in sending Luis Angel Acuna our way for him. This seems like pretty much a no-brainer for us. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Acuna's ratings, but he could definitely be a good backup and potential spot starter. And honestly, wouldn't be surprised if he ends up starting a lot of games for us next year. But I think that this is a pretty much a no-brainer deal here. See if we can get a throw-in pitcher or something like that, and we can. Nate Dom looks like he's not all that great, but can provide some minor league depth for us. So we're going to go ahead and do this deal. Sawinski to the Mets for Acuna and Dom. All right, and same thing here with Will Brennan. He spent the entire year in AAA for us. The Toronto Blue Jays appear to think, well, not the entire year, but most of the year in AAA. The Blue Jays seem to think that he could help him out, so they are offering us Ricky Tiedemann for him. Going to go ahead and do this. Not look a gift horse in the mouth. Thank you, Blue Jays. Just a couple of small little transactions. Probably wouldn't even. Well, they probably would get a pass and tweet, but nothing huge. Friedel, I mean, he's a good player. And wow, TJ Friedel is generating some serious interest around the league. And the Diamondbacks are offering up Jordan Lawler. Now, this is probably a little bit unrealistic, trading away 3 outfielders and 3 different deals in one day. But, I don't think anyone's actually going to watch this series anyway. So, we're going to go ahead and do this too. Jordan Lawler, welcome to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I'm guessing that his ratings are going to go down pretty quickly after we trade for him. He did not have a very good year in Arizona this year. He was actually pretty good in AAA, so we still got some hope for this guy, but looks like the Diamondbacks are ready to move on from their once top prospect. I think he was I know he was a first round pick. I think he was a very high first round pick. So, Lawler headed to Pittsburgh for TJ Friedel. So, for the first time, we are going to be paying Paul Skeens arbitration. And his price is going to get hefty very fast. So, right now we're going to see if we can get an extension. And, yeah, I think that's just going to be too expensive, unfortunately, for us right now. We're going to go ahead and give him 7 about the arbitration estimate, and he'll take that. The other guy that we could think about going for an extension with is O'Neal Cruz, and it's really biting me in the ass that I didn't do this last offseason because I could have got him for like, I want to say it was 12 or 15 million a year, and now it is going to cost a lot more. So I think we're going to have to just give him one more year for now. We've got him for next year and the year after. So hopefully we can make a playoff push in that time before we probably end up having to flip him. We'll go ahead and give Patrick Bailey what he wants. Orion Kirkering. And he pretty much always turns out to be really good in this year, so in this game, I wouldn't mind buying out a couple years of free agency, but that's a little bit too expensive. So we'll just go ahead and give him about the arbitration estimate. Randy Rodriguez has been really good for a couple years. Let's see what he would like. So we could think about trying to buy out a couple years of free agency on Randy Rodriguez. I mean, this is a pretty low risk deal right here. Do a couple of team options on the end. See if he likes this. And he does. So we're going to offer Randy Rodriguez a 7-year, $24 million extension and try to lock up a young pitcher, maybe get a few really cheap years in his free agency time. He gets a little security in exchange. Obviously, we are going to want to offer Mackenzie Gore, and we might end up flipping him at some point. But for now, we'll give him the $11 million. That is his arbitration estimate. Kirby Yates, we are going to let him walk. As for pending minor league free agents, I would like to get some of these guys on minor league extensions. Gigliotti, wouldn't mind bringing him back. Wouldn't mind bringing back. Looks like Luis Hill is not interested in a minor league extension. Blake Perkins, would like to bring him back. Same with Brian Rocchio, but he doesn't want a minor league extension. Other than that, I think we are just about all good. Sammy Ciani, wouldn't mind bringing him back. Good defensive center fielder. So I think it is about time to fast forward. Oh, well, we got to do the development lab as well. So this will be pretty fun. We've got a pretty good amount of young players that could use some help from the development lab here in this offseason. So we will definitely make sure to use it as well as we can. Ricky Tiedemann, would not mind getting him to have a little bit better stuff, so we will go ahead and ask him to try to increase his velocity. I think Paul Skeens is probably all set, but we could send him. See if he can increase his pitch movement, I would say. Last year we did control, this year we'll do pitch movement. As for Jordan Lawler, I think we are going to ask him to try and increase his bat speed, get a little bit more power going. Bubba Chandler here. This is a tough one. I would say probably increased velocity is going to be our best bet for him. Bubba Chandler, try to get him to increase his velocity. Let's see, Luis Angel Acuna. We can send him and see if maybe we can get him to get a little more power in his game. Let's see, Jared Jones here. I would like to get him to increase that movement rating for sure, but I think we will probably go ahead and go with increased velocity for him as well. Jack Brannigan. Looks like he is about as good as he's going to get according to the OSA, so not really much of a point in sending him anywhere. Would be a low likelihood of success. Patrick Bailey. I think we will send Patrick Bailey to try and increase his bat speed as well. Barco. We can try to get him to increase his velocity. Probably all good for the major leaguers. We could send Kirkering to increase his control, but I don't really think, honestly, just don't think that matters all that much for relievers. So we got 2 more spots. See if we can maybe send some prospects. I definitely want to send Termarr Johnson. And we'll probably have him try to increase his power as well. Generate bat speed for Termarr. And then maybe Connor Griffin. We can see if he's able to increase his bat speed or contact. I would say probably contact, maybe. Nah, we'll go bat speed. We'll go bat speed with Connor Griffin. So that is how we're going to line up the development lab. Head and simulate up. Actually, we got to make sure. It's nice that this year we don't have to do the pain in the butt, which is hiring all these coaches. Looks like our AA hitting coach or pitching coach left for whatever reason. So we will grab a replacement. Darren Koch looks very, very capable. And The only major league coach that we are maybe a little bit disgruntled with would probably be our hitting coach, but he is an excellent hitting coach, it looks like. So we're just going to have to leave that. I think we'll give him some more time. We didn't really give him a whole lot to work with. So, yep, go ahead and simulate up to award season. All right, so we are here at the start of award season. Take a look at the gold gloves. No big surprises in there. Looks like Cal Raleigh had a great season defensively and another really good hitting season. Absolute stud. Gage Workman for the Blue Jays. So that's 2 in a row randos who win a AL Gold Glove at third base. That guy Williamson from the Mariners won it last year. No Pittsburgh Pirates win Gold Gloves. No big surprises there either. Take a look at reliever of the year. I don't think we'll really have any major contenders for this. Looks like Andres Munoz wins it. In the AL, had a great year for the World Series champion Seattle Mariners. Devin Williams, now a Philadelphia Philly, takes it in the NL. We didn't get any votes. Silver Slugger winners are announced. Wow, looks like Colt Keith has turned into an absolute monster for the Detroit Tigers. Holy crap. I've never seen anything like that in this game for Colt Keith. He always ends up being kind of crummy. But in this save, the Tigers have found an absolute superstar. Looks like Bobby Witt had a great year. Julio Rodriguez is probably going to win the MVP. Here in the NL, Pirates don't have anybody. PCA had another excellent season. Ellie De La Cruz absolutely went off this year. Holy cow. 9 WAR. Absolute monster for the Cincinnati Reds, and looks like they locked him up. That's awesome. Good for the Reds, although not too happy that they're in our division, but I don't think that's probably going to happen in real life. Just guessing, but we'll see. American League Rookie of the Year is Samuel Basayo. Had a really, really good year. Power hitting catcher and first baseman Alex Freeland of the Dodgers wins it. In the NL, not quite as good a year. A much worse crop in the National League. Dave Roberts is named the Manager of the Year in the National League. Dan Wilson of the Seattle Mariners takes AL Manager of the Year. Here comes Cy Young. It looks like we did not take it this time. Crochet wins it in the American League. Had an incredible season for the Red Sox. And in the NL, it is Kodai Senga, who had a really good year. I would argue that Paul Skeens was better, but that's okay. I mean, a couple of ERA points, but I actually had astoundingly similar seasons. Anyway, Paul Skeens had a lot fewer walks, though. Justin Steele also gets a couple of votes for a really good year for him. No other Pirates receive any votes. Now on to the most valuable player. The prize jewel of the MLB award season, although Cy Young is up there as well. Julio Rodriguez wins it. He got 29 votes. Looks like Garrett Crochet grabbed one as well. Colt Keith finished in second. Judge in third. And Ellie De La Cruz, no surprise here, is selected as the NL MVP. Looks like O'Neal Cruz grabbed a singular 10th place vote. So appreciation to whichever media member did that. Had a really good year for us. So that is it for the awards. Going to simulate ahead until free agency filings. Alright, so free agents have filed. Let's take a look here at the international guys. Ooh, looks like a good young starting pitcher. Going to be a little bit too expensive for us at $26 million. Another pretty good young pitcher. Oh, this guy only wants a minor league deal, it looks like, so we are going to offer him that right now. Nothing much else it looks like here. Ooh, Huang. Looks like a pretty good player, but also probably going to be a little bit too expensive for us, unfortunately, because that is a bat that we would really love to add to our lineup. So, for now, our pitching rotation is looking good. Our bullpen is looking pretty decent. We're going to have to add there for sure. See if there's anyone in the minors or on the IL that we need to move up to the big league roster. Gibson Long, we can move him up for now. These two are also options. We'll just go ahead and send them up at the moment. Other than that, don't really think any of these other guys are probably going to be making big strides and helping much next year. I think that they're all probably at best a year after. As for hitters, Not really anyone else that we're going to want to call up. I think Termark Johnson could make an impact with the Pittsburgh Pirates next year, but I doubt that he will start the year as our second baseman. So that is all looking good. Maybe we will go ahead and get Bernal on the 40-man roster because he is a pretty good defensive catcher. So as for the lineup, we will go ahead and go through and take a look. I think Horwitz is going to be done. Chong, we don't want him starting. We are hoping to get Brannigan to play third base next season, where his defense is really excellent. I think that we're probably going to want to have Jordan Lawler play second. He has not shown much at the major league level. We could give him some more seasoning time in the minors, but I mean, he's going to be 24, going on 25 at the start next year, so I think we're probably going to give him a look to start the season. Other than that, we're going to keep Grisham in center, Cruz in right. Nick Gonzalez, maybe he will end up playing first base for us, but we are hoping that we can get a better first baseman there. Luis Angel Acuna, could have him play a little left field. He'll probably be a backup, though, in our perfect world. So yeah, I think that that is about where we are set at the moment with our lineup. So we're looking for a shortstop, looking for a left fielder, looking for a DH, maybe looking for a first baseman. Take a look at our salaries, see how much money we're going to have to spend. Looks like we're going to have about $29 million, but I think right now we might actually take a look at trying to move Mackenzie Gore, maybe free up some more money even, get a little younger in that spot. All right, so not 100% sure about this trade, but I think we're going to make it happen. Mackenzie Gore, whose ratings are good, but I'm not crazy about the movement. He had a really good year for us this year, but we are going to try to sell high when he has one more year till he's a free agent. Going to add in Sawyer Gipson-Long and Omar Alfonso, and in return, we are going to be taking a flyer here on a former top prospect in Dylan Cruz, who was pretty decent for his time in the major leagues last year. He absolutely mashed after, I assume, getting traded to Tampa Bay. Yeah, it looks like he was traded along with Corey Knebel, who I didn't even realize was still a professional baseball player, in exchange for Yandy Diaz. So, I'm not like too optimistic about how Dylan Cruz is going to be for us, but maybe we get lucky. We got kind of a similar situation in Jordan Lawler, so hopefully at least one of them turns into a good player. We're also going to get a pretty nice looking reliever, Alex Lang, not making a lot of money. A reliever prospect, Yoniel Cure, who I know is a somewhat decent prospect for the Rays in real life. I want to say he might have tore up his shoulder right before this season, but Andrew Lindsay as well, another just depth starting pitcher. So we are going to go ahead and do this trade for better for worse. So Lang will slot into our bullpen, and I think Dylan Cruz will slot into our lineup in left field for now. Does not have any experience playing the position, but I think that he can be decent at it. So once spring training rolls around, and that even increases his potential a little bit. Once spring training rolls around, we are going to go ahead and lock him into that spot. And I don't think that we have a spot in our player development lab, which is unfortunate. Would love to get him increase his power a little bit. I don't know if maybe we could try to flip Luis Angel Acuna to open up a spot there. All right, so we are actually going to go ahead and flip Luis Angel Acuna for Jordan Walker. The Pirates are getting all of the kind of disappointing former top prospects this offseason, although Walker was really good for St. Louis in about half a season last year. So wheeling and dealing here in Pittsburgh and trying to build a competitive team. So that is going to be that, and we are going to go ahead and make room by doing that for Dylan Cruz in the development complex. And we're going to go ahead and try to get him to generate bat speed, increase his power. I think that this could be huge for us. If he's able to get that up to a 55 or even a 60, then he's going to be a really, really nice player for us. And I'm starting to really kind of like how our team is coming together a little bit. I mean, we got really good defense at second and a potential for a really good player in Jordan Lawler. Still thinking we're going to move Nick Gonzalez, try to get a new first baseman. We've got our left fielder in Dylan Cruz. We got a couple of options at shortstop, like Chong could play there, Miller could play there, even Lawler could play there, but we would prefer to get someone who's a little bit better defensively, I think. and we are definitely looking for a DH. Losing Mackenzie Gore, everyone's going to move up one spot. I'd rather keep Thomas Harrington in that sixth spot, so maybe we will try to grab another starter. Also, Ricky Tiedemann could be an option. We have a lot of options, but I would rather grab someone who is a little bit more established, maybe, to occupy that final spot in our rotation. So we're going to take a look. We'll move Jordan Walker here. He is an option at DH, especially against lefties. I think he's better against. Actually, no, he's pretty much even splits. So he's an option at DH, but we'd probably rather not have him play there. Also, an option in the corners if we have an injury or just as a backup. And it is looking like Logan Webb is on the trade block. That is a very, very interesting thing. Logan Webb, a darn good pitcher, making a lot of money, but he would be a huge addition to this team. I think we are going to take a little bit of a look at free agency finally. It's been a while, but here we go. Take a look. So not really a super strong free agency class here. Chris Sale is going to command a lot of money. This Japanese pitcher looks good, but we can't afford him. Not really anyone that I'm seeing that I'm super, super excited about going after. Alec Burleson could be interesting, but I think we kind of already have a good number of players in his role. Danny Colombe, he's fragile, not really interested. Pete Fairbanks could be interesting. He had a really good year for San Francisco. I don't know if that was down the stretch. Nope, that was not down the stretch. So he started off really well and then kind of fell off. Joe Jimenez, don't love his ratings. Gregory Soto could be an interesting addition for $5.5 million. I think we will honestly probably go ahead and send him an offer. See if we can go down to 5 maybe. There we go. He will think about that. And after looking at this free agency class, I think we are going to go and look at what a move for Logan Webb might look like. All right, so we have a deal in place with the Giants for Logan Webb. We're going to be getting Logan Webb, an excellent starting pitcher who is under contract for the next 2 years. Interestingly enough, about when his contract runs out is when we might be looking at trying to extend Paul Skeens. So kind of a perfect move in that sense. And then Ryan Walker, also they are willing to throw him in, and he is a pretty excellent reliever. Ratings-wise, didn't really have a great year this past season or the year before, but I think that he will definitely slot into our bullpen. In exchange, we're giving up, I would say the main pieces are Aiden Miller, who we traded for from Philadelphia at the previous trade deadline, a former top prospect, well, current pretty highly rated prospect. We are also going to be giving up Kiner Delgado, a young infielder with some pretty decent hitting potential, contact hitting potential, and Caden Bodine, a good catching prospect with a decent bat. So we are not giving up nothing. We're giving up a fair amount along with John Kensney Noel, Carmen Mlodzinski, and Spencer Horwitz in exchange for Webb and Walker. So I think that this is a good trade for us. We are selling off some future assets in exchange for a win now move. The Giants are kind enough to eat 30% of Logan Webb's remaining deal. So we are going to go ahead and do this deal, and I think it is going to be huge for us. Our rotation next year is going to be awesome, and our bullpen is looking pretty good as well. As it lines up right now, it would be, I think we would have to go Skeens, Jared Jones, Hunter Barco, then Bubba Chandler. Thomas Harrington would be the backup starting pitcher, probably down in AAA. We got Alex Lang, who looks like a decent bullpen arm, Ryan Walker. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys I'd be comfortable with being in our bullpen. Would like to get maybe one more higher caliber guy, like a later innings type of arm, and then we got plenty of options for a long reliever. I think we are going to offer Alec Burleson a contract for $1.5 million. Why not? And he really, his stats project him to mash righties. It hasn't really been the case in the past, but, really all he does well against righties actually is not strike out, so maybe we'll go ahead and rethink that one. But all right, so we are going to go ahead and make another deal. We're really willing and dealing. Sorry if you think it's unrealistic, but if a GM really wanted to change his team up a lot in one offseason, maybe he would go ahead and make a bunch of trades like this. But we're going to be sending Jace Young, who seems like he still has a decent amount of potential, but he is 26 years old. Guardians are going to take a flyer on him, along with Inmar Lobo, who's not really anything, Mike Burrows, who is a good depth starting pitcher who a lot of teams have shown interest in this season, this offseason, and Kiri Almonte, who looks like he could potentially be a pretty good reliever one day, but nothing crazy. And in return, we're going to be getting Gabriel Arias, who is going to be our shortstop next season. So pretty exciting trade. We got a good defensive shortstop to throw on our team, and now the main order of business is going to be finding a first baseman and or a DH. And the way that we're going to be doing that is trying to trade our guy, Nick Gonzalez, for one. So maybe we will simulate forward a little bit, let things get moving a bit, but that is what we did today. Today was a very, very busy day as the Pirates GM. Let's see, just take a look back at what we did. So we have made a bunch of trades this offseason. Sent Sawinski to the Mets, Will Brennan to the Blue Jays, Friedel to Arizona. We got Luis Angel Acuna, who we've already flipped. That guy, who's kind of a nothing burger. Tiedemann, Jordan Lawler, who's going to be our starting second baseman this season. We flipped Mackenzie Gore, Sire Gibson Long, and somebody O. Alfonso to the Rays for Dylan Cruz, Alex Lang, Yoniel Curet, and a minor league starter. We went ahead and flipped Acuna, like we said, for Jordan Walker. Then we went out and made a big deal for Logan Webb and Ryan Walker, Mazinski, Aiden Miller, John Kensney Noel, Kiner Delgado, Cade Bodine, and then that most recent one you just saw. So, a busy offseason so far for the Pirates. We have one more move up our sleeve at least, and that is going to be trading Nick Gonzalez. And we also hope to sign Gregory Soto, who we level an offer to, and then also this guy, who looks pretty good, honestly, for someone who is not asking for much in a contract. So we're going to be looking for a first baseman and a DH. We'll see if any of these guys have their demands come down in the coming weeks, but we're going to move forward a little bit, and maybe about the winter meetings we'll start feeling around for a Nick Gonzalez destination. All right, and some good news. We get Gregory Soto to sign on the first day of winter meetings. So our bullpen is looking pretty good. I think that Gregory Soto could take on a later innings role for us. We still could be on the lookout for another reliever, but as of right now, I'm feeling pretty good about where we are. Takatsu likes our offer, so appreciate that. Looks like he could be a pretty decent, maybe a starting pitcher. We'll see, though. So here at the start of winter meetings, I think that we are going to start looking around for a Nick Gonzalez deal. Try to get a power hitter. That is really what this team is missing, I would say, is a big bat. Or probably a couple big bats, but at least one, definitely. So yeah, that's what we're going to do right now. Try to get a hitter to put in the middle of the order along with O'Neal Cruz. Alright, so I think that we have our Nick Gonzalez deal, and it is a big one. We had a lot of interesting options, but what we really need on this team is a middle-of-the-order bat that is going to strike fear into opposing pitchers and be able to produce a lot of runs for us. And that man is going to be Spencer Torkelson. Played all 162 for the Tigers last year, 40 homers, 145 OPS plus, had a heck of a year. He can play first base, although if we find a better defender at first, he might end up being the DH. And we're also going to get Kevin McGonigal, who is a top prospect in real life, but not rated as such in the game. He has some pretty good potential. Mainly, his best attribute is that he doesn't strike out. I don't really expect him to be any good, but fun to get a bigger name in here. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to be sending Nick Gonzalez, who is a very good-looking player. Had a good year for us this past year, but just because he's not a great defender at second, I think that we are ready to move on from him, along with Billy Cook, who is a quad-A outfielder, I would say, is probably the best way to describe him. And we are also going to be getting $5 million from the Tigers because Torkelson's making 9.7, so they're going to be paying a little bit more than half of that. And I think that this is a great deal for us. This team is really looking up, and I think we're going to be a contender in 2026. We're really wheeling and dealing here this offseason. Some people might think that that is unrealistic, but you know what? We're playing a video game here, trying to have fun, and I don't think any of the moves that I made are really all that unrealistic. I mean, Tigers, you might say they wouldn't want to move Torkelson, but they also have Colt Keith, who is an absolute stud as a first baseman. So Torkelson for now is going to enter the lineup to play first. I don't really see many internal options that I would be super excited about having DH. Maybe Matthew Lugo against lefties. He's got a little bit more power against them, but his eye is just kind of poor, so not a huge fan of that. Could be Jordan Walker, but he's not really an excellent hitter whatsoever, so I think maybe we will try to troll in free agency a little bit, see if maybe we could figure out a platoon. All right, so I'm not really seeing a whole lot out here on the free agent market that we're going to be able to afford. I think right now we are going to look to give a small contract to Alec Burleson. Let me see if he will accept Major League with a minor league option. Or minor league with a major league option, rather. All right. $1 million. Offer Burleson $1 million and think about having him try to fit in there. Just not a lot of really good options out here on the free agent market at the moment. But maybe some of these guys, their demand will go down as we get closer to the season. You can hope for that. But as of right now, I think we're going to sim up toward the Rule 5 draft. All right, we are here at the Rule 5 draft. Our 40-man is getting pretty crowded, so I think we'll go ahead and DFA these guys. I highly doubt that any of them are going to get picked up. And I can see a few other potential options for DFA if we are starting to run out of spots. Derek Diamond, we're definitely going to want to get him on there. He, at one point, was a top prospect, but not really anymore in the game. I think last year he was top 100, but not anymore, it appears. Other than that, I think we're all set there. Yoniel Curette, we'll throw him on there. We got space. Mitch Jeb, too. He has been someone that other teams are at least a little bit interested in. I don't think he looks all that great, but I think we are all good there. Yordanny De Los Santos. Not really too worried about any of these guys getting picked. Maybe Polanco. I know that some teams were interested in him this offseason. So I think we're all set. We'll hop into the Rule 5 draft. I mean, there always is a chance that we could see a... Actually, even before we do that, let's go check the lottery results. 12/15/2026. Moment of truth. Nothing. Pirates. Looks like the Cardinals moved in front of us, so we'll probably have the 11th pick. Not horrible, not horrible. See if we got anyone who could even be a platoon option at DH. Yeah, no, not really. Khalil Watson could be an interesting backup infielder, and maybe I think we'll go ahead and grab him. And that's going to be... Oh, unless he gets picked before us. Ah, that's too bad. I got a little excited about him, but I think that is going to be it. We're not going to select anyone. Move on to the international free agent signing period. Looks like we actually lost D.L. Hall in the Rule 5 draft. He was selected by Arizona. And Nasim Nunez, looks like the Athletics have claimed him, so that's fine. Let's see if we have signed that. Oh, yeah, so we got the number 12 pick in the rookie draft. See if we signed. We still have not signed Takatsu. Not sure what's taking him so long, but I'll let you know when I know. All right, we grab Alec Burleson on a $1 million deal. He might end up getting released. We'll see. Hopefully we can find a better DH in the coming 2 or 3 months. But, oh, it looks like we signed Takatsu finally. So we're going to go ahead and move him on up to Pittsburgh. All right, here at the beginning of international free agent signing, and I see one guy right off the bat that really catches my eye. Cesar Propenzicati, and he looks like an absolute menace. So I think that we are going to go ahead and sign him. Born in 2010, that's absolutely wild. 2.4 million. I mean, I think we should just give him 4.5 right off the bat, and try to avoid any bidding wars. All right, so Propenzicati is coming back to us with another offer, and I'm not going to mess around. I am going to give him my entire budget. Don't want to mess around with a guy like this. And there we go. We get Cesar Propenzicati, a top international prospect. I would assume that he's going to vault pretty high up in the prospect rankings pretty quickly here in game. So Looks like he's got a pretty good personality too. Arrives early and helps set up equipment. Sounds like a pretty nice thing to do, I gotta say. So we're gonna go ahead and grab some minor league free agents here. We're pretty much all set, but just some depth. Ozzy Albies, like that. Anthony Alford looks like he's got some pretty good defense in the outfield. We'll go ahead and take a shot at him. And as of right now, we actually don't have a backup center fielder. We only have corner guys, so looking at Luis Robert, and I think that this might be a guy that we would like to sign. Only asking for a little under $2 million, so we can go ahead and grab him to be our backup center fielder right here. As for pitchers, I like Jeffrey Springs on a minor league deal. Walker Buehler, why not? I mean, our AAA team, Indianapolis, is going to be drawing a lot of fans. We got some pretty big names coming in here. Maybe we will. I think that's fine. None of these guys look particularly interesting. If I see someone with a 55 movement rating, I'll definitely go ahead and grab them, but nope. So I think we should be all good there, and I think we're just going to simulate up until the start of spring training now. Alright, so we are here at the start of spring training. Going to go ahead and maybe add a few of these guys to our roster. Some of the veterans. Alford, Bueller, that'll be fine. Prado, Jeff Springs. We only need so many guys. Can't hurt to get a few more guys on the roster for now. Let's see, I was going to see if we have any catchers in the minor leagues that we can send up there to have a couple extra guys. I guess we can. This guy, Axiel Plaz. Sure. We definitely need to work on our catching depth, though. Nobody is set anywhere. Just going to let the CPU handle all of the personnel decisions here in spring training. We do get some pretty big news. The player development lab, totally forgot about that, but looks like Ricky Tiedemann was able to increase his velocity a bit. His ratings are looking pretty nice, pretty nice. Think he will probably be a long reliever to start for us. Paul Skeens increases his pitch movement successfully. Oh man, I mean, this dude is a freaking menace. We got to figure out how to get him extended. No improvement for Lawler, unfortunately. No improvement for Chandler. Jared Jones, looks like he had a good time at the development complex. Don't really see it reflected in his ratings, but we'll take it. Patrick Bailey, outstanding, generating bat speed. Very nice. Looks like he's about a league average hitter now, which is as good as you can ask for a guy who's this good of a defensive catcher. Pretty excited about that. Hunter Barco, no improvement. Termarr Johnson, poor. That's unfortunate. See if he is still able to be a good player, hopefully. Connor Griffin, no improvement, and we're still waiting on results from Dylan Cruz. All right, so I think that we have our opening day roster set for 2027, assuming we don't claim anyone on waivers. But as of right now, it's going to be Paul Skeens, Logan Webb, Jared Jones, Hunter Barco, and Bubba Chandler to round out the rotation. Our late inning relievers are going to be Kirkering, Gregory Soto, who we signed to a $5 million deal, and Ryan Walker, who we traded for this offseason from the San Francisco Giants in the deal that also landed us Logan Webb. Randy Rodriguez will be our top middle reliever, and then Alex Lang and Danny Young will follow him up. Young also will be used as a specialist, along with Ricky Tiedemann, who's also a long reliever, and Thomas Harrington. If we're looking to upgrade on any of these guys, it would probably be Harrington. So we will take a look at the waiver wire. And then at the plate, it is going to be Dylan Cruz starting off at the leadoff spot, playing left field. O'Neill Cruz in right, batting second. Spencer Torkelson at first base, batting third. Trent Grisham in center field, cleaning up. Jack Brannigan at third base, batting fifth. Burleson follows him at DH for now. Patrick Bailey is going to catch. The switch hitting catcher is going to bat seventh. Our shortstop, Gabriel Arias, is going to bat eighth, and then Jordan Lawler is going to round out the order, playing second base. And against lefties, we just make one change. It's Walker in for Burleson for now. So let's go ahead and see if there's anyone worth grabbing on the waiver wire at the moment. I do believe we have a little bit of money to play with here, $6 million or so. So if we see anyone that's really interesting, maybe we can take a look at them, like Gratterall. Not really too interested. Oh, doesn't look bad, but if we were going to replace anyone, it would be... Ooh, I like Angel Felipe a lot, so we'll go ahead and throw in a claim for him, assuming that he's not making any money, which he is not. For the bats, see if maybe we can find a DH type of guy in here, but think we're feeling pretty all right with where we stand right now at designated hitter. We will probably be looking to upgrade that at some point in the season, but all right, so it looks like we're all good for waivers here. Let's take a look at the top prospects. Looks like we got a couple of top hitting prospects, including Propenzicati, who we just signed as an international free agent, gave him all of our budget. It looks like that might have been a pretty smart decision, not to toot my own horn. And then we got Termar Johnson up there at number 53, 53rd best prospect in baseball according to the OSA. Wilson Zavala at 63, the 17-year-old lefty. Levi Sterling moves up to 37, so they are excited about Xander Meth. I'll say that for now, Xander Meth. Okay, so we got a couple of good guys that we drafted. Liam Peterson was our first rounder last year, and he vaults into top prospect status at number 26 before he ever makes his pro debut. So that's pretty exciting right there. And it looked like Devon, I think, Hudson Devon. He jumps all the way up to 13, our second rounder from last year. So a good-looking draft here for the Pirates before any of these guys have ever actually stepped on a pro baseball field. But we will certainly take it. Let's see where that leaves us ranked. Minor League System rankings, we are number one, the number one system in baseball. That is pretty exciting stuff. So we are building a good team and a good organization. I think that is going to be about it for this episode. Let's take a look at the preseason predictions. And they have us winning the NL Central at 86 and 76, so we'll see if we are in fact able to do that. No Pittsburgh Pirates hitters are expected to be among the top 10 players in the league, or top 10 hitters in the National League, but Logan Webb and I don't know where Paul Skeens is. That's a little ridiculous, but that's all good. It's all good. So that is going to be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed, and please tune in next time for the 2027 regular season. I think that this team is going to be really good. Honestly, not necessarily really good, but I think it's going to be a good team. I think that we are going to compete for a playoff spot at the very least, maybe even compete for the division crown. So look forward to that next time. Have the next episode coming out in a couple of days. And yeah, thanks again for watching.